All right.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jody. All right, let's call the meeting to order for the Parks Board meeting for Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, 5:30 p.m. It's called to order. We have a roll call.
Roger Mullendorf.
I'm here.
Mary Dell, here. Wes Graham's here. Rod Fortle.
Here.
Sarah Thorson.
Not here.
No. Ann Root. Yes. And Luke Russell.
Here.
Good. We have a quorum. We'll move now to citizens' comment on matters within the board's jurisdiction, and you have a 3-minute limit per speaker. Do we have any citizen comments? None? Any citizen comments on one of them?
I raised my hand, Roger, if nobody in the room is wanting.
No, go ahead.
So,
You're on.
yep, it's me. It's Teresa Whistler, in case you forgot. So, I'm here on behalf of Heroes just to say thank you so much for everybody's support on Parks Board and Public Works. For the tree planting of the stand-up in Van Dyke Park on September 13th and 14th. It was just so, it's just so greatly appreciated. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Thank you, I enjoyed it, I enjoyed the trees event.
I know
Yeah, it was fun.
thank you, Ann. I know we didn't have a lot of notice. We didn't know when the trees were coming in or when they'd get picked up. So it was just such a wonderful thing that many of you rallied and really came through and made all of that possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward with the action items. Do we have approval of the consent agenda and the minutes of September 3rd, 2025?
I'll move to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The agenda is approved as well as the minutes. The next item on here are bylaws, and we had a little discussion before we started the meeting. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to delay this one more time. There's some confusion out there over which of the versions of bylaws that we have is the latest one, and we just need to get that straightened out. So I think maybe Beth and I will sit down and put our heads together and compare notes and hopefully have something to bring back at the next meeting.
Okay, is there something that's obvious to, I mean, if I go home and read it, is there something obvious to me what the problem is, or?
Well, I think the
Problem is we have two versions, some markups were made, but then the version that Roger sent out for the meeting, is going back
Is the
to
original
some
Okay,
of,
oh, okay,
yeah.
no, actually, not even, because it's really condensed and short. It's almost like it's missing 3 pages. It's something
Okay.
up, so,
There should be 5 pages.
yeah. I think
It's all here, it's just, this is what we originally did, Roger and I, and Danae, who put it all in here. But then we had a meeting and we discussed some more stuff,
Yeah.
and Sarah was going to, make those changes. And I don't know if we.
Sarah
had that.
indicated to Roger a couple days ago that the last version that she would be able to provide to us is the one that we had at the last meeting, but then it goes back to some original things that weren't changed. So it goes back to like Dan Seifert being the chair. And so that just got us worried that we're not working on the same version. So
Okay.
we'll get to the bottom of it and finally put this thing,
We'll get our
I mean, we're
stuff
trying.
I make a motion, we table this.
Okay, thank you.
I second.
together. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
All right, okay, we'll move over to discussion items, and Mike, do you have a full report?
I can give you a report.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to, get as much, detail together as I wanted to, but I have some. I can tell you the pool is, We got everything drained and ready for winter except for the inside. We need to, pump, antifreeze through all the water lines. We do that every year. Plumber's come in and do that, possibly this week, possibly next week. I know we're going with cold night Sunday, but it'll be all right. We'll get it till next week. As far as some of the numbers for the pool this year, I don't have these all kind of, when I just been really busy with the water and sewer projects, but, here in a month or, at my next meeting, I'll have a printout of everything, but just in a nutshell, the pool ran from June 10th this year to, the August 30th. We sold 181 season passes in total, 118 family passes in total, and 63 individual passes. I don't know what the difference between an individual pass and a season pass is. I gotta figure that out.
It's like $100.
Well,
the 181 equals the 118 plus 63.
June day passes, we had, 428 for kids, 135 adults. In July, we had 935 kids and 330 adults. August, we dropped back down, we were 184, no, we didn't, 184 adults and 428 children. We had 136 group swim lessons purchased, 14 private swim lessons purchased. 3 sessions for swimming lessons were conducted July 7 to 17, 21 to 31, and August 4 to 14. We sold snacks and drinks at the front door there. I don't have a total on what was generated from that, split out from the total revenue. Average pool temperature and was 82 degrees, and I don't know what that was for June and July, and then 83 degrees for August, so the pool was warm. We had a total of 21 employees this year, 16 guards, 2 aqua aerobics instructor, and 3 instructors. Total revenue received this season was $59,758, which is, I think, a little under last year. When I do a printout on this and summarize everything, I'll put last year's on there too, just so you can see a little bit of the trend.
Did you have fewer pool days this year than last year?
I think we're probably, it will be in that final report, but I would imagine we're within 1 or 2
Good.
of the same.
Oh, good.
Last year we did open the hair earlier, but I think we closed a little earlier too. Is that right, Lindsay?
Yeah,
I bet you were right on.
I think you would,
Yeah, I think we're the same.
maybe even a little more this year.
You know, it's just, the beginning and the end they're big red lodge.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
early June, sometimes not swimming weather, and this year, August was pretty good.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you keep track of how many days they close, like lightning or anything like
I
that?
can probably tease that out.
I'd be curious to see, and how many parties, I couldn't catch if you got that.
We don't have that there, but I'll look and see
Yeah, like how much revenue was created from that?
from the parties.
Yeah.
Anybody else,
Like-
are you aware, I mean, do they have, I don't.
Yeah,
they
I
have-
went to at least one. So there was at least one, but I think there was a couple.
Pool parties and, weather days. correct?
Yeah, the only days they closed early or didn't open because of bad weather.
So that's, we had a, I was not able to attend, I had something going on, had a meeting, kind of at end of year wrap up, what worked, what didn't work, kind of thing. Last week, the mayor was there, like I said, I couldn't make it, I'm planning for next year for the pool, we're gonna, once I get done with these big projects, we're gonna look at a little different approach that Corey Thompson, who,
Oh, nice.
has brought up, and if that approach is is feasible. I think we'll probably start turning the gears in January on that a little bit, and try and get some early momentum for the pool season. So, mostly in terms of like, personnel.
As far as hiring lifeguards and extra people.
Yeah, it hasn't really flushed out what it's really gonna look like, and it may not flush out, but between now and January, we're gonna flush it out, and then if it does, we're gonna start a little push to get things moving.
Yeah, I know you,
Nothing huge, just a little momentum through the winter to kind of, so we're not, but so hopefully it will be a little smoother and maybe have a little different, makeup of personnel in the pool.
Good.
So,
all right, any questions for Mike?
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Exciting.
I just would like to make note for the minutes that Sarah's here.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure, call me out.
Oh, we didn't have you in the roll call, so I'm adding you.
I was just thinking about that. Do I get added or?
You're just in.
you're at it.
I mean, you guys are, like, you
So-
you walked in right after we did roll call.
Okay.
So next on the,
You're in, you're here.
next item is with you again, Mike, do some update on park projects.
yeah, we had a few little things going, nothing too heavy duty. I don't remember exactly when, but a week or two or three ago, we got the graffiti out of skate park, got it, sealed. Learned a little bit about sealing, it went overall good, I think it came out really good. The folks I talked to down there afterwards, when they're skating and biking on it, they thought it was great. I don't know, one kid said it was way faster, I don't know how that's possible, but, and I don't know if anybody noticed, but it got graffitied up really bad this week.
Oh, this week?
Yeah, it was a couple, 3 days ago, no, it was last week. It was
After you sealed it?
But it was within a week or so.
Can we find out?
We got most of that off, today, we ran out of the graffiti goof off stuff, went to get some more next time we're in Billings, they cleaned up pretty good, plus there's new sealer out there, so it didn't get concrete too bad. There's still some, of the purple we couldn't get off, but we'll get it off. I got a guy coming, he was supposed to come today, but again, he's gonna come tomorrow. We're gonna do some hydro seeding up in coal miners, kind of around some of the areas that got a little torn up when the pump truck got built, and then we're gonna try and do the back sides of all of the features so that maybe there's some vegetation on there to kind of hold that soil. That's gonna happen tomorrow, hopefully. The other thing on the pump track, I've been trying to come up with a solution for this watering problem. I spoke with some people who do, chemicals on roads for, to keep the dust down, to keep them together.
Like mag chloride kind of,
Yeah, and I talked to a guy who's got, a life, he knows everything about it, and I think he really does. He's been in business for like a zillion years. He gave me a recipe, to try, and a lot of advice, and I think we're gonna move forward with it. Hopefully before winter, I'm gonna work with you on it first. We won't do it without, having discussion, but basically it's like a blended down mixture of mag chloride, and then if I can get it, ironically molasses. And he said if you put it on, he said the main thing is to just, be very conservative. You can always add more. If you go past the point, then you got a mess. We don't want to do that. I gotta get together the materials, because we don't need much. It's hard to buy little parts of mag chloride. They usually come in semi-trailers. But I think I've got some lines for that. I got some lines for application methods, and then we probably need to do a little compaction at that point, or some kind of rolling or something. But I think I don't think it's gonna be instant fix, but I think if we do it, like conservatively, try it out, and then kind of keep building it,
Yeah.
I think we can end up with a really nice, durable, like a racetrack type surface.
Oh, awesome.
And
And it won't need water as much?
he said the only thing with, he said the molasses will work really good, we'll love it functionally, he said, but when it rains, it will smell like molasses.
I like it, yeah.
Pancakes?
So what does that mean
Sounds
for
good.
hornets, wasps, and wildlife?
Yeah, great
With
question.
that,
Does it say anything about wildlife and hornets and wasps and everything being attracted to
I
that?
don't think it's a big deal, I mean, they use the products on roads, we're not gonna put much molasses on it, just enough, the mag chloride's pretty corrosive, and, you know, people are gonna be riding bikes on there, so the molasses will help combat the corrosiveness of the mag chloride, so that people aren't like, yeah, it's great pump track, but it's rust my bike.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
No. Yeah.
So, that's kind of the purpose of that. Other things going on park-wise, working on getting all the sprinklers blown out, finishing up, there's not much blowing left. I do believe, and I'm a little bit out of loop, but I think we've got a countdown on tearing down the Rocky Fork, or whatever you call it, getting up there for October 14th, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. That's when it'll start, I don't know how long it'll take. And I'm sure I'm missing something, I think that's it for park stuff. I got a couple things I was supposed to do with tennis that I forgot about. I was supposed to order some tape, I think.
Yeah.
Mike, how's your tree removal?
But,
How's your tree removal project going?
it's done, we got rid of all the stuff, we gotta grind that big stuff in park yet, we're gonna grind both stumps in Finn Park. Unfortunately, I still have trees up at Baldwin's that, I don't know, I gotta go talk to Nate, see if we can, I mean, I feel like we could probably still maybe get them in the ground, but we just don't have time right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try and overwinter them.
Yeah.
I think we'd try to pull it off. There's not that many, maybe 10-ish, so. But we'll have to, the tree removal project is done excluding the replanting portion and the grinding of those two stumps. I haven't got reimbursed from DNRC yet for, we're supposed to fund about $20,000 worth of projects, and I just have to do paperwork to get that money.
Have you planted trees?
What's that?
Have you planted trees other than what we had at Field Park and down on 10th Street?
No, we did those 13, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then, we dug the holes for the ones at
And I,
the observatory.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it, Mike?
I think so.
Any questions for Mike?
thank you.
The
gravel
gravel,
Thank you, by the Mike.
do you have the gravel by the tennis court too?
We're gonna do something there, I'm not sure what we're gonna do, I've been looking at that, where the equipment comes in and
Oh,
out.
yeah.
I'm thinking about just either concrete or pavement. Because it's a mess, and I think that'd be a better fix. I did
Gravel.
have, and I told Wendy about this, Jeff from the pickleball folks, they approached about a potential project down there. And I think in the meantime, while the council and the mayor are trying to figure out how they're gonna handle any of these changes, he brought an idea up of, on the other side of tennis courts, on the east side, like between the playground and the tennis courts, a gazebo that would sit there. And, you know, I think it's a dual purpose feature. It would, people could watch their kids in the playground or sit, watch tennis or whatever. But if we're gonna do it nice, and so it would mean a sidewalk coming up on there and a railing and stuff, and I am gonna prepare I think, until they get something going, when people present an idea to me, I'm gonna kind of put together like a project perspective from Public Works and kind of draw it up, have it detailed, kind of write it up, and then you guys can look at it, and council can look at it, and maybe it'll help get everybody on the same page with these projects, so there's communication and approval and, no carts to the horse kind of thing. So that's coming down the works, probably in a month or two for that little gazebo thing.
I do. My text on the list. I think it's been a couple.
Yeah, you did, yeah, that was good, the one in Cody.
Yeah, couple, yeah. there's a couple.
Mary Jo, do you have a question?
What's happening with Pride Park?
Was having a Pride Park, it's a go, we got the money, it was approved by council, $2,000, and then the garden clubs, I need to sit down with them, they have some money to kick in as well, I think I haven't, there's somewhere between 10 and 15,000, I think.
Yeah.
That's all right, and, the plan on that is, and we're winding down with sewer and water projects. When that winds down, I want to sit down with the garden club and kind of go over and make sure that the planners are what they want, or the features that they want, the aesthetics that they want. And kind of finalize the design and probably bring it in here, go over it a little bit. We're not going to re-engineer it at that point, we're just going over it. And then, get together a plan, I think, and it'll evolve as we go through this process, but I think that rather than hire a contractor just to do it all, I think, Public Works is gonna kind of act as a general on it, and then we'll sub out the different features, because we can do a lot of demo work ourselves and save money out of, for the project. And then we'll hire subs, and that will hopefully kind of come together over the winter, and then when first, get into that window in the spring, we'll get on it. That's kind of the plan on Pride Park.
I have a question. Is painting the wall there part of the project?
Well, I would love that, and I think that, that's one of those things that might evolve, and, we have this $82,000 estimate from the designer. I'm hoping that with us doing some of the work, we can chisel that down a little bit maybe, and then have money left over, and that would go on the wall. So, the wall's being thought about.
Yeah.
It's not,
As long as we're doing.
currently it's not part of the project.
Yeah.
So do you see that wall as being a mural or just kind of repainted?
I think that's not entirely up to me. I would love to see it now.
It was a mural, it used to be a mural.
Yeah, the little thing in the middle is the remnant of it, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be awesome, but I think that's for the garden club, the people that are involved with that park,
For sure,
Make
it's
that
a
decision.
painting again, though,
Okay.
it's pretty ratty, yeah.
Okay, one more time, any more questions for Mike? Good report.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep, thanks,
Zero
Mike.
of red lines right here, people, telling you, gets it all done.
Okay, so the next item is a recap of the September 11th, 2025 Parks Tour. And I'll kind of kick that off. I'd like to have anyone who was involved in that tour to pop in and add your kind of 2 cents of what, how you felt about the tour, and maybe what, if anything, we accomplished. But the purpose of the tour on September 11th was, at least my hope was that we would acquaint all the board members of where all these undeveloped and dedicated parks have been set aside by developers, as the city grew, where they were located and what kind of potential they would have as parks or recreation areas. And, so that, toward that end, we also visited a couple of existing parks. I think we stopped to look at Hill Park Courts, kind of briefly. And we also looked at, towards the end of the tour, we visited Van Dyke Park. But the dedicated undeveloped parks that we visited included mostly the parks around the West Bench portion of the town. They included the City Lights Park, Mountain Springs Villa Park, West Bench Park, Unknown Nameland Park. We gotta do something about that name. Diamond Sea Park, Fires Park, it's also referred to as Moran Park, I guess. And then we have we looked at the airport / rodeo park, those areas. And I'll just kind of give you the summary of my takeaway on this, but this is my whole show. You guys were, some of you were involved in that. Mike, you were too. You can hop in with your comments. Kind of what I took away from it in my summary and findings were that Mountain Springs Park has been derisively referred to as useless park. And I think that's a pretty adequate description of that site. My feeling has poor potential to be developed as a park, mainly because of its location.
The access is not.
Access is terrible. There's it's really impractical to have ADA access to it. And that it's also situated right behind a private residence with a very narrow kind of easement going up into the park. I think it's something we wouldn't want to spend a lot of time, effort in trying to, promote that as a park or recreation site in the future. The City Lights Park, which is up on top on the bench, has, in my opinion, has some limited access issues too. Particularly for public access. It's kind of narrow. It's behind some existing homes and private property vacant lots. Has steep terrain, which kind of hampers a lot of the development. Although it may have some potential as a connector pathway with some of the other parks that are, heading towards the north from there, including the West Bench Park, which has, I think, good potential for pathway development. Maybe some park fixtures, benches, trash cans, those kind of things. Maybe some lighting, if that would ever happen. And it would work well as a connector, again, pathway for other parks in the area. Mike had mentioned, and I think there's, it's an interesting idea, that it might have some potential as a disc golf course site, kind of on that east face of that bench. It's kind of heavily wooded. It's got some interesting terrain. That,
Yeah, I think there's some private land in there between the brewery and up the hill, but that could be incorporated in.
Yep.
That was all, of course, that ended it with a view.
Yep, and all those parks have just tremendous views, looking down to the city of Red Lodge and then up the canyon, towards the Beartooth Mountains. The other park is the Unknown Nameland Park, and that's just immediately, kind of almost adjacent to the north of the West Bench Park. Very similar type of potential, I think, as the West Bench Park, and again, a nice connector with a pathway, if nothing else, and possibly an extension of the disc golf course. You go further down to the north end, and they have the Diamond Sea Park, and that's kind of it's a nice area as far as the terrain. It's nice flat terrain. It's very developable. I'm not sure what the size of the park is. Maybe a quarter to a half acre. Half acre may be a little bit.
I don't think it's quite a
expansive
half,
for the-
yeah.
Probably not that large, but it's kind of tucked behind some other private property lots, but it's down at the corner of that far end quarter of the Diamond Sea area. And there is kind of an existing pathway that it provides access to it. And again, there'd be really nice, almost like greenbelt pathway system you could put along that whole edge of the West Bench. and it does have some potential, I think, as a pocket park, or maybe a very small neighborhood park that could serve that area. From there, we went on to, the Spires Grand Park, and I think we all kind of thought, we're impressed with that site. It's got, I think, a lot of potential. There's also some potential of maybe increasing that size, if we can get in some negotiations with private property owners there. It's got a nice flat surface. It could serve well for, drop-in, athletic type of activities, sport type activities. Can make a really nice neighborhood park. It's got some really great existing features, an irrigation ditch that goes through it, maybe a little stream, a bridge going over the ditch, and there is one existing bench there, but it's got some nice pathway connectors into that little neighborhood, that Spires neighborhood. I think the potential there for a future neighborhood park is really, pretty great for that growing area of town too.
So Roger,
Mhm.
that might be something to talk to Chelsea about with the land use planning for Ann.
Mhm.
Because there's talk, maybe Mike, that land to the north of Diamond C is gonna be developed.
Yeah,
So you get into it by going down Morningstar,
yeah,
and then Moran is off to the right, and so if that whole area is gonna be developed, it might be the opportunity to talk about expanding that or having another little,
well,
Yeah, in my mind's
Right.
eye, there seems like a trail would go from Diamond Sea Park over to Moran.
Yep.
And we need to get on that, just so we can secure that nice trail through there.
I think, I think that's a really good point. I've been up there a couple times, and there's a natural sort of almost corridor that you can connect those areas.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
and then that might connect down through the hospital trail that
It could,
Sarah
yes.
and Bo created.
Yeah. And,
And then if the trail along the highway ever finishes or comes to fruition, then you'd have a loop.
well, and you have the potential, looking at the other parks, the no-named park, or whatever we call it, and the West Bench Park, all of that can provide a nice little pathway system, all on that edge, all the way down, connecting the hospital, connecting the brewery, stuff like that, and connecting, the Spires Park and Diamond City. So you could have a nice little
Yeah.
system there.
It'd be great.
Yeah. From there, we went over and we looked at, right, I've got listed as the airport/rodeo park.
We looked at the space, at the Lutheran church
We
first.
did, yes, we did. We looked at the Messiah Lutheran Church vacant property just to the east of their existing church. And, right now it's private property, of course. There has been some talk that they may be amendable to some type of, recreation activity or development on that property. I don't know who's talked to them. I haven't talked to anybody, but, it might, pardon me?
Tennis talk to them.
Tennis talk to them. It might be something that would be worth exploring. That whole area, is really underserved in terms of, park and open space. We have there's a golf course running through it, but that's not really a drop-in public use area. So that would make a great neighborhood-size park area, at the maximum, I guess, is the greatest potential for that area. But even if there could be some smaller type of recreational, amenity put into that area, I think it greatly enhance that
We
neighborhood.
talked about an amphitheater too, like a small,
Yeah,
that view of Mount Maurice behind it is so
Are
cool.
you talking about the city leasing that from them?
it's, who knows?
No.
We're,
Dave, I think, has the
Yeah, we-
info.
we haven't really, it could be anything from leasing to whatever.
Mayor Dave.
Yeah, so,
Mhm. Not Dave. Dave was driving the bus.
yeah, we had 2 days, didn't we?
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, right, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. That's good to bring up, but I think there's really a lot of potential for that site, for the future for a park or a recreation site. Then we went over and looked at the airport rodeo area, and I think kind of the consensus there was that that's basically an area that probably its highest use is to assist in whatever activities and events are being held at the fairgrounds in terms of overflow parking and that type of thing. Probably as a park site, not great, but, you know, it's probably the highest and best use of that area for the time being. And I think finally we kind of wrapped it up at Van Dyke Park, and we kind of wandered around there, looked at things, looked at the observatory, looked at some of the access issues getting into the park. You know, do we need some more security, some gaps in that fence along the road that maybe need to be filled in. The running situation from Northwestern, putting their power lines and poles through the area. And then some kind of, I think it's kind of like perceived drainage issues in some of the entrances into the park. But any comments from the rest of you who were on the tour? Things that I may have missed, or some of the perceptions and the feelings that you've developed?
You know, when you're talking trails, the VRTA should be talked to work on that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, without doubt. They should be included.
BT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We
BT.
dropped the R.
Yeah.
You know, now that the Brewery Hill is kind of off the table for a while, it'd be fun to, I mean, not fun, it'd be good for all of us to talk to them about what's Plan B, what's Plan C, and how can we help with that? It's getting something worked up out there. The day after I heard about the Brewery Hill being next, all these people walking up the hill, and I thought, you know, they're all staying in Alpine Basin, or they're renting houses, and it's just, we gotta get something going for that.
We do. Yep, that's an important project.
Yeah, Luke, you're involved with VRTA.
Yeah, I'm on the board of them.
Mm-hmm.
We should start an email chain with Nick.
Yeah.
That's the way I should
Have you guys had a meeting since Brewery Hill was,
go.
What did they say, why,
um,
Well,
I think the things that were approved were flat. So, I don't think they liked it.
I think there was concern about the cost,
Yeah.
you know, of building throughout the hill. They made a comment, and Luke, you might have more information than I do, but the comment that they thought maybe the city should have a little more skin in the game on this project.
Yep.
And, there may be some ways around it, maybe developing the top half of it, you know, as part of a city project that could be used to offset, you know, the cost of the state doing the project going up the hill. You know, it's sort of our share of the project. Might make it more, you know, more possible as a project. But good point that you brought up, Ann, is that, you know, in grants, one of the things you should do is find out what they do fund, and then write your grant, you know, to model after that. Sounds like they have a preference for flat, easily developed pathways.
That's what I gathered, yeah.
Which could fit
Ours
in,
was complicated, let's face it, it was very
it is a
complicated,
complicated project.
so,
It's a good project, but it's complicated. Yes.
the safety, when we drive it and watch people
and there,
walking it in the sun is
oh, the sun, you know, terrible.
There's a private landowner off of Ward that has talked with the city before about an exchange and having a trail go down through there, so I think that could,
That'd be on the other side of 78. on
yeah,
the
you
south
pop
side.
out on Airport near,
You come down around 8, right, by the grocery store?
yep.
Yep.
Okay, so my question, maybe Mike, you know something, or maybe we can look into it. So this Van Dyke Park Northwest Energy damage, when they were talking about going in there, they essentially promised to rehab that area. And it seems like we're talking about it 3.5 years later with no,
Resolution.
I can look into it.
yeah, and it seems maybe we just need to communicate with them and let them know that there's a lot of unrest about what didn't get done.
Mike, does Northwestern own a right of way through the park there under those lines? Yeah.
There's an easement through there.
You know, one other kind of overall, takeaway I had on that tour was, and I mentioned it several times while we were riding in the bus, is that I think the city needs to be in the future a little bit more diligent about what we accept from developers and people who are going to dedicate or set aside parkland for us. You know, I understand, I've worked with developers a lot, and I understand that they want to give you the property that they can't develop, or is not easy to develop. Sometimes that property works well for parks and recreation amenities. Sometimes it doesn't develop well for parks either. So I think just, you know, not looking backward, but looking to the future, maybe we should be a little bit more involved, a little more selective, a little more picky about what we accept.
Agree.
Any other comments?
Not for me.
Thanks for arranging it, I enjoyed it, and
It was a good tour.
It was a good tour, it was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Brewery Hill thing, I wish the mayor was here, he's got a lot more insight on what actually happened.
Yeah.
And I talked to him at Oktoberfest a couple weeks back, and we had a few beers, I don't remember everything.
Sorry.
Detail. Yeah, thanks, it was good, it's really good. But he, I think some of, like you're saying, like, some of the other projects got approved, they had more skin in the game, like they'd already invested money into it. We haven't really done that yet. So, and then he expressed, I don't know who talked to Dave about this, but it sounds like you might have, Mayor Dave, he seemed pretty motivated to overcome that hurdle as best we can. Like, all right, if that's what is needed, then why don't we try to fund the cheaper portion, which appears to be the top side.
Yep.
So he said he's gonna start looking around for funding sources.
But you said he also had a couple of beers?
I don't think he did. He was on a day game.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember that part either.
yeah, no,
Okay, good.
no, yeah. No, he was a good politician. He showed up late,
Yeah.
did his rounds, you know. So we had a board meeting with BTA after we discussed that had fallen apart, and that came up there. Obviously, it was pretty disappointing because we put a lot of effort into that. After that conversation with the mayor at Oktoberfest, we're basically shifting our focus. We have an active transportation part of the board, and they just work on in-town projects, and we were starting to look around for new stuff. But now that we know that it seems like the city is somewhat motivated in that direction, we're basically like, all right, we're all stop. And if the city wants to go down that path to work as much as we can our own portion of Brewery Hill, then we're just gonna focus on that. So there's obviously needs to be some discussions, you know, but,
Yeah.
anyways, just want everybody to kind of know where that's at, those meetings.
All right, any other comments?
But now,
Okay. If not, we're gonna move on to number 6, which is the tennis courts at Coal Miners Memorial Park update. And Lindsay, are you gonna be giving the update?
Yes.
Okay, so Lindsay, you have the floor.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us. We've got a lot to update you guys on. It's been a really exciting project. And even in the last month, we made a lot of progress. Barb wasn't able to make it, but I actually have Abby Lust, who's on the board, who you may know, and Kelly Reynolds, who is also my assistant coach on the high school tennis team. We're all on the board, so they're very up to date. If you have any questions or if I miss anything, you guys can help me out. Kelly, Rachel, and myself, Rachel Harrington is also an assistant coach, just wrapped up our skills and drills for the month. You guys may have seen the flyers around town. It was a fabulous Sunday and Wednesday afternoon, and we had between 20 kids and 10 adults-ish each week, dropping in for skills and drills taught by one of us each week. I thought it was really fabulous to get kids, families, parents, adults out, and we may even had a pickleball convert who bought a tennis racket even after 30 years. So that was really fun. We had a lot of fun coaching it and getting new faces out onto the new court, so it was really fabulous. Raised some funds for our new courts, raised some awareness, which is all good.
QR code going, so that
Yeah.
was kind of the start of that.
Totally. I also have an update, and I gave it to, some of you guys, yeah, that's what I'm going off of right now. We had a really great site meeting on September 17th at the potential tennis court location. with a gal named Olivia Hollis, and she's from, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. And she administers the Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. It was really helpful and answered a lot of our questions about the grant. And we basically, she basically approved the $150,000 for us. Once we complete the application, there's no deadline for the application, and she's going to work with us, and our goal is to have it in around mid-November. So that was really positive and a huge source of funds. She enjoyed the site and meeting us and the updates that we had for her, so it's really exciting.
Lindsay, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Trying to go after those grants before, there has to be city funding, so is the
Yes.
resort tax, is that committed? Does anyone know?
We
This
were,
budget, we don't have anything committed.
not this budget, but at the last resort tax meeting, they did earmark $200,000 for the 10,
Okay,
in the next budget,
okay,
2026.
yeah, because I know to get those grants, you have to show some funding from the public entity that's involved.
And we already have 140 from the USDA, but there was no, when we talked to her about that, there was no issues with that.
Okay, awesome.
That's a good question, I can confirm that, but we were very transparent on the funds that we have raised, and she was okay with it.
Awesome.
And approved in kind as a ratio as well, which I'm not sure if that's fully common, but that's nice to know.
Yep. Good. Really exciting news that, we are gonna move forward with Rimrock Engineering and Wade Reynolds, which some of us have a really close tie to, right, Kelly?
Okay, yes.
And, he's moving forward with testing, the potential site to make sure it is a stable site and give us kind of the full report, the geotechnical stand, probably this Thursday or Friday, he said. And that's also really good news that he's donating that to our organization.
Mike?
Mhm.
Did Maples get it too?
Yes,
Okay.
we got that report too.
Mhm.
Or we haven't, there's been no report.
Who's gonna write the
No, the plan,
tax exempt thing for it?
Oh, the foundation could do that.
Because we can't do that.
Yep, I got the foundation, it's already sent off, so it's $5,500. And then, so I sent the study, Beth, if you'd like to see it, of what he's gonna do. And then once he performs it, then I'll make sure all of you guys get a copy of it.
yeah, that's okay. I was just questioning, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm sorry,
Okay.
because I lose track. Because your name wasn't listed, Mike, I was just curious if you saw it. You saw
What's
it.
that?
You saw the plan.
The proposal.
Oh, it's good. I mean, I think it's just smart to get some geotech on that site because, none of it's native soil.
Yep, yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of coal there's a lot of garbage in the ground.
Yep.
It'd be good to, it'd be absolutely negligent to move forward without looking at the ground first.
Yeah, but I think Beth, you're asking is,
I'm
Mike
just
has
asking
seen
if
the
Mike saw it,
proposal.
because it says you and the
Yeah.
mayor, and I was just making sure we tied him in, because that was
Yeah.
in our minutes that we would.
Yeah.
Not that you guys didn't give it to him, that, the board gave it to him,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
I also think it's really important that we have this study done. I mean, we're putting a lot of money down, and we want to make sure it's done right, so it's here for long term.
Yeah, I mean, it's essential, it has to be done.
we did the same thing up on top, in the
Yeah.
soccer field, yeah. I mean, it's a dump, the whole area's a dump.
Literally, and, but not anymore.
No, it's not a dump. It's a dump. It grows really good grass.
I'm really excited to, let you guys know, our goal is $750,000. And currently, we have $140,000 from the United States Tennis Association, $150,000 from the Land, Water, and Conservation Fund, and the resort tax is $200,000. So we're right there, really close to our goal with only a few months of organization.
You have a couple other grants too,
Right.
smaller ones too.
There's a couple of smaller grants, in the pipeline, and then also we're applying for other grants. I just applied for one for $20,000, and it seems like a really great fit, so. There's a lot of funds out there, and we've just kind of formed our board, meeting regularly. I was gonna show you guys kind of the first, promotional and marketing material that we've come up with. So this is our brochure, if you guys wanna, I got a couple of them if you wanna see. You know, we approved our logo at the board meeting, so it's official.
I like it.
Yeah, so it's
We
kind
showed
of,
that a month ago, that.
yeah, so this is the final,
Right, okay.
final one,
Mhm.
we made a couple tweaks, but,
Sure.
it's pretty exciting to tie in the town of Red Lodge, but also the school. And we're on our way, so it feels good to be a part of, and after the skills and drills, to see more and more people participate, in a lifelong sport. So it's exciting for all Rapid sports, and I think, it's one of our goals, you know, to improve that site, that entrance to the school, but also provide something really fabulous for our community, for a really long time. Do you guys have any questions about the start of the project?
Again, the testing will be starting maybe next week.
They'll probably drill this week and then take a week or two to report, yeah.
Okay, great.
Then we got the locate today, I think.
Oh, cool.
What's your rough timeline, like 30,000?
There's no easy way to do this.
I'm really hoping, the way that our tennis program at the high school is growing, I need to put it in there.
Right.
One season on the existing course, I think, is our goal, right?
Exactly.
Beyond that, it's gonna be challenging to
Yeah.
practice on the two and a half courts that we have over there.
Okay.
So one next or next spring, we'll be on it, and then I'm hoping next summer we can actually start construction
Okay.
and be playing on it as a team in the fall or the
Yeah.
spring of 2027.
What do you think is your biggest hurdle for that?
Weather.
Okay.
And finding the right contractor.
Yeah, okay.
Who's qualified and capable. I don't think it will be fun,
You feel like the money's gonna
Yeah.
keep working out?
no doubt.
Okay.
Any other questions for
Great.
Lindsay? Good report, thank you.
Oh, one thing very close to my heart is this location is a great fit for this project. But we do need to move forward on securing that, like with all of our grants, before we can move forward and tell people this is the project where we need to have a secured site. So that's gonna be our next ask to you guys is we need a commitment that this is the actual location. A lot of that's gonna depend on Wade's report.
Yeah.
But just talking to Wade, you know, he's not gonna commit to anything without the study, but, you know, it's only money, you can build anywhere.
Right, so I think, you might wanna talk to Barb can check in with us, but drafting an MOU
Okay.
that the city would consider is never premature. I mean,
Okay.
you can have it ready to go, and, we have templates or ideas. And even though our flow chart of decision matrix, whatever we wanna call it, isn't actually formalized, we do know that there's, significant pathways that we won't get rid of, and so that's one of them. And, we could certainly help you with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good comment. You're right, the agreement.
But I think the parts are in there, and we would never abandon the parts that we stuck in that flow chart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just a formalization to go somewhere.
that's
And
right.
I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more when we talk coal miners, ambassador updates.
Well, we are in the Parks Ambassador
Okay.
update. We'll start with you since you.
Okay,
you said-
so, Golf has been interested in moving forward, and Roger and I sent them, sort of an informal, but, email saying, yeah, this sounds great, we've given you the nod, but we don't have a flow chart that's endorsed, but there are things we know that you can do to move forward in the right direction. And, as we all discussed in our meeting last month, one of the important things is to reach out to the other user groups for park and have the, informal one-on-ones. It can be, you meet with them individually, you meet with them as a group, You could ask a Parks Board member to join in, but you present your plan and you hear any concerns or overlap of use or property conflict with those user groups. So we did send that to, I sent it to Melissa Griffith, and I haven't heard back. So we don't know, and I gave them all the contacts, so I.
Oh, about 10.
Tennis, soccer, baseball, Beartooth Trails.
Mhm.
So, I think what the Parks Board wants is for that to happen, and then the user group that's responsible for proposing a new park usage, as you are, that you could report back to us and say, I spoke with soccer, here's what I heard back from. And that way, if there are conflicts, then the Parks Board and the city will know about it and step in as necessary. But I think those informal discussions go a really long way to, creating good, working relationships. You can get rid of false thoughts and rumors
Yep.
that people have, and I know that we, for instance, not to bring up soccer in the field, but we did that because, Beartooth Trails had the pump track, even though rudimentary at that time, but they also had the trail around the outside, and it was to okay, Frisbee golf also, what does it mean when we put a field in there? How's it gonna impact you? And we sat for a couple hours and just brainstormed the things, and then when we came back to the Parks Board, we're like, this is how we're gonna alleviate that problem.
It's a preventive.
Yeah, and it just makes for a great working relationship understanding. So, just like we asked Frisbee Golf, we'll probably give you guys the same type of email, which is start to reach out, have you had a conversation with baseball? Yes. Okay, and you talk about it, you show them your plan, and you just have these things and say, okay, everything's hunky-dory, we'd love nothing more than to hear that. But, Frisbee Golf is trying to do some new holes, and, obviously, we all know that there's gonna be a little change with their layout if the tennis courts happen. I was hoping that, anything that might impact soccer, the only thing with soccer that they would care about is you don't wanna create a preferred pathway. So we wouldn't want everyone beelining across the soccer field and making a path to get to the pump track with their bike, right?
Right.
It doesn't seem logical, but that would ruin a soccer field. Similarly, Frisbee Golf doesn't want baseball to do something that impacts what their plan is, so it's just meant to be, to get to the root of any issues and get them dealt with, so then there's no hard feelings and no misunderstandings.
So based on this land with one hole on the property, is that correct? There's one hole on the tennis site? Is that something, it sounds like if the city's telling us we can build a tennis court, how do we negotiate, how do we bring that up to them? Because we're sorry, we're not negotiating on this, your hole's gone. How do we?
Yeah,
how do
Barb
we
had
approach
talked
that?
to them, I think
Okay.
she's gotten
They're
the
just
nod from
aware.
Coley that, they can move around it.
Can we help them include it into our project? And
Yeah, I mean,
move
that's
it-
what we-
help them move it to
And that's what we did
location.
with soccer, because we moved 2 holes with the soccer field, and we helped them pay for some relocation.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we'd be willing to do that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So, I
we'd love
mean-
to have that conversation with you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, your holes, we're gonna build there, but
How can we help?
how can we make it?
Tennis themed?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
But at least continue to share our building plans with them so they can see what land. Yeah.
right, and I think it's a perfect time for Frisbee Golf with a presentation of what they plan to do and what you're planning to do, to have that discussion, and that way it can come forward, yeah. Even though they have revamped some holes recently, I think, spent some time and energy on them, I think they know some of those may change.
Tom did make the statement at one of our meetings that they could certainly work with the
Yeah.
Frisbee dog leg in that hole or something.
Yeah. He's a tennis player,
Who is he?
Cody.
Okay.
The only other thing for coal miners is that the sprinkler lines got, I think today, blown out by Baldwin's as part of their city-wide, winterizing of the lines, and so Cy Baldwin had asked if today was okay. Soccer ends on Sunday. It's a good time to turn the water off, and nobody really wants to mow up there and do things anymore, so I think that, timing worked out fine.
Put in the soccer field at bed, huh?
Yes, for a little while.
Get it back to the deer.
Yeah.
Turn it into a skating rink.
There we go. Covered. Is that it, Ben?
That's it.
Okay.
I have one thing to add.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Luke sells the
Yeah,
one.
Nick's got a proposed, sign for the pump track. So I was gonna email that to everybody on our group probably tomorrow or the next day. And then we can chat about it. Oh, nice. Here, this is a rough draft. It's gonna look a little different than that, but it's the general idea. Maybe put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, does everyone agree? You know?
Yeah, and they don't have to go to the city permitting thing.
Yep.
How big?
I think it's 2 by 3 or something.
I can't remember, it's not very big.
It's actually not that huge. But when you discuss, how's it gonna get affixed? Is it gonna go in the earth up there, or all that kind of stuff, because of all the mitigation with the coal? So, yeah, but,
We can put a post in there.
Yeah.
okay,
Any problem.
cool. Sounds easy. So, yeah, we can talk about it next agenda. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Love it.
Put it on the agenda. So you have anything else?
Nope,
Regarding
that
coal
sounds, yeah.
Okay. Ann, how about you?
Well, I was at my park today, and it's lovely as always, and the dogs are happy, it looks good. I took my weed eater over there and trimmed up some bushes and tried to outline. We have some lovely, huge junipers that I'm trying to put a focus on, and, but it's not about the trees, but it's about the dogs and people and picking up their poop, and I think things look pretty good up there.
Good.
So,
Nice.
I think
Right.
Mike's pretty well covered my two parts.
Okay.
Field school
Yeah.
and the, skate park.
All right. Okay. Mary Dale?
Don't really have anything, for Van Dyke.
Sarah?
I was on Lions last weekend and everything was fine. And alert.
And Luke, you covered everything that you want to cover, or?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
I have Finn Park, and the park looks great. It kind of a hole there where there used to be 2 large trees, but that's the way it goes. It's better than having a tree fall on a car or picnickers. By the way, drive by Finn Park or walk by it and take a look at that red maple. It's the color right now is outstanding.
Yeah,
Really,
really pretty.
Very pretty. Over at, you mentioned this, I think, about at our last meeting, that over at Rotary Park, that dog cleanup station, or the dog, poop bag station, that when you walk into the trail, where kind of where we planted the trees at the end of that loop, is full to overflowing. So you might,
it still is?
Of
Yeah.
trash?
No,
Or-
poop bags.
poop bags, yeah.
You.
Yeah.
They're empty.
No, that's almost,
No,
full, but it's
poop
just kind of, it's gonna make a mess, because the bags are kind of hanging out, and it's gonna,
They're
It's
gonna
gonna
get
get
wet and snowy.
yeah, it's gonna, yeah,
We'll go by there tomorrow.
yeah, it's kind of, it's sort of out of sight, out of mind out there unless you're gonna walk through that trail. So that's all I have for my report.
Who is the Pride Park ambassador?
Well, that's it's kind of, nobody is right now.
You.
We're hoping that.
Yeah, actually,
the
yeah.
Garden Club would take that on.
You are, you and the gal that you gave me the numbers for, so we're hoping that we can include you as the ambassadors. So the ambassador,
And we're trying to have somebody from the park, from, the garden club
Yeah.
here each month.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
That's great.
Do you have anything you want to report on it? On the
No, the water's off, so I'm sure we'll be having a cleanup day soon to get the plants out that are animal.
It looks beautiful.
It
The
does
by the
look
way,
beautiful.
it looks great. And after Public Works, like, pressure wash, the concrete, I'm always like, what's wrong with it? It looks really good.
I didn't get any sealer on there, we forgot.
When
Yeah.
Terry Keller, redid the whole part against the wall this summer and actually put markers in for different kinds of plants, which looks really
It's awesome.
It's a great little spot in town.
Yeah.
It really is. All right,
I got one more question, I guess.
Okay.
We're gonna, I think, we don't have any need to have a porta potty at the soccer field anymore
After Saturday,
after Saturday, okay?
like they have.
And then we, I think we're gonna pull the ones out of Rotary, probably Monday, we'll pull the soccer and the Rotary. We may keep the one, we have one at the Civic Center, I think the kids use it when they play football. And we're gonna pull the one from the Field School Park, I think, too, on Monday, so. Unless somebody needs to stay. And we're gonna leave the one at the dog park all winter, I think, that one gets a lot of use.
yeah. All right. Okay, future agenda, I think we already have at least one item on there, the
Pump track signage, please.
pump track signage, and
I'd like to, I had this idea a few months ago, I'd like maybe in January to start inviting, some groups here. They can get to know us and we can get to know them. And, again, reinforce what we were just talking about. It's a shared space. I guess I'm particularly talking about Coal Miners Park. But, you know, baseball and softball, just
Right.
come and say, hey, let them know that we're here and we're kind of trying to manage this. And I think that would, starting in January, I think would be realistic. So,
Maybe we send an email and say, please put you on the put yourself on the calendar before we put you on the calendar. I mean, you know, like, we'd like you to say what month you'd like to come, otherwise, we're gonna put you on the agenda.
and we have ways to get in touch with everybody, is that correct?
so basically reach
I
out
know-
to user groups.
I know the coal miners
Invite 'em.
people, and I know the garden club people, and the tenth, well, you're coal miners now.
Baseball's got a good committee too, they've got a great group of.
Yeah, softball's always hard, but I always just put that on baseball.
Oh,
Adult
maybe
softball.
Yeah,
Dormitory.
And Shusha. There's adult softball. Yeah. After baseball finishes, then they take over.
they took a couple years off, they were over in Denver. I think that's a great idea.
Mhm.
So if we can get on that, you've got a couple of months to figure it out, and
Yep.
so.
Okay, so we could plan it for,
Why don't you give it a little more detailed
Right
thought
now?
about how, not now, not right, but between now and January, maybe give it some more detail in the format, and how
And
you
some
see
sort of
it
an
formed.
email to everybody? You're
Yeah,
talking about?
or, you
Okay,
know-
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
And then would it be helpful to have any sort of communication template? Like to those that we don't maybe necessarily have great relationships with, hey, I'm
Or
so-and-so from Parks Board,
Uh-huh.
we're
Great idea.
doing this, and we'd love to have you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some changes at Coal Miner Park. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
okay,
I think they
Good idea.
appreciate it. Especially if they knew they were coming to one and then they like,
Yeah.
back if you want to.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least now we all know.
It's not gonna be a hot seat thing, it's just, hey, we're here, do you have anything?
Would love to hear
Yeah.
from your group about what's
Well, also,
going on.
if we do that, I think some of our ideas don't need to overlap. You know, like what we want might be very similar to what
I
baseball
think-
wants, and if we work together,
I
we're
think
not.
we're trying to reach out right now to the people that we don't hear from at all. So
Yeah.
we're not worried
Yeah.
about
Yep.
you guys.
Well,
We're
I
not
know, but like-
Worried about the people, but, you know, we haven't had anyone from soccer here in years. Baseball, probably the two big users.
And baseball, maybe you've been here once since I've been here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, mostly we're trying to re-engage.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
BT,
Well, Nick keeps us up to speed, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
Nick
here.
can come in. Nick
I'll
loves
take one
to
now.
talk.
I do, he does.
Nick,
Yeah, Nick does, I know. Don't you tell me to come back?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, come we miss him.
I know.
Can we put the tennis MOU on next meeting, or is that too soon?
I don't know.
or a draft.
we could get do you have a copy of the template you could forward to her, or? You
I
know, or
never
an
won some
existing,
soccer, but yeah, I mean, we give you some that have been made, yeah.
we can put you on if you're ready for it.
Oh, I'm ready.
Or at least we can start the conversation, so we can move forward.
Draft, MOU tennis, okay.
Okay, good. All right, any other items for future agenda items?
Yeah,
All right, don't apologize.
I think it'd be great if we could have a Brewery Hill discussion with the mayor in here to get us all to speed and see if there's any direction he wants to ask of us from his perspective, you know, hey, do we need to do stuff? How can we support him? Does he want me to go to the BTA and have them go
No,
all in? I just wanna know where we're
I
at.
actually think that's getting on the city agenda again.
Okay.
Because it was a city council, I mean, we gave our recommendation that we wanted it, I really think, not to punt it, but we're
Yeah,
all
they
in
go
favor of it. I think that,
Luke, how about if I talk to the mayor about it, too?
I think
What
that's
order
great,
you'd like to
yours
have
is
these?
good, is
I
that we've done our part to
think that-
say
Yeah.
we support this as a
yeah, and they
park
know
board.
that, that's,
Yeah.
it's, you know, we made a formal,
Yeah.
I think,
We could have the mayor give an update at that point.
okay, so you'll ask him to be
Yeah.
prepared for that?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I'd love to read I'm assuming we got some sort of report when we were denied. I would love to have that
Right.
Okay.
in our
Oh, we're in
hands.
right now, no one really knows what's going on.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
What
Yeah,
happened.
Rejection.
the rejection letter, I wanna read it.
Yeah.
Would that be a good time to start with, connecting all the other parks, the RTA people?
Well, maybe, well, it's
I think
probably
got a
two
big
separate
agenda now,
options.
maybe
Yeah.
next in December.
That might
That's
be
we have the
a
bylaws.
different topic that related, yeah. All right.
The
It
last thing I had
wasn't
was,
No.
where's the disc golf people at? Like, they gave their thing here, 5 months ago, and I just like, they pooped into the ether, what, do we know what's going on?
Thank you guys, thank you, well, thank you. So, that's part of that was part of why I brought it up. So, Mike,
y'all.
do
Yeah.
you know where things stand with disc golf? Because Coley tells me he's working with you.
Well, we've maintenance on the key boxes, and adjusting a few holes and stuff that it's quote unquote maintenance right now.
Yeah, they
They're
have
not moving forward with the plan to expand until the council and the mayor come up with their
Okay,
system. Okay.
so why did they dig that one hole that was like 30 feet south?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
The one they filled in, because I was worried kids were gonna run down the hill. Yeah. Okay,
Is there
Oh,
a
is that-
basket in it now?
No,
Did they move the basket? No, it is.
I think they moved the basket.
I don't know.
It's in,
You know?
that hole, I went out and looked at the hole that you contacted me about, and I
I
think
think
they
it's kind of
had,
like golf, they moved the hole around a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
true.
I think there's a basket where that hole was now.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, we'll check it out.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
all right.
So, Luke, it might be you or I reaching out to Tom
Okay.
and ask, because like I said, Roger and I worked on a really good email to them. Like, hey, keep the process going because we know you're anxious. Check in with everybody else and
Yeah.
then report back to us. And then the next thing I know, there were holes going in up there in the ground. So I was a little confused too.
Yeah, because I know, we shared some emails back and forth, and we weren't sure if those holes in the ground were part of the expansion of the course. And I know I was thinking, would he actually get permission to go forward with that project?
Not from us.
No,
You
they
know.
have to get city approval, that's why, but if they come back and they say all the user groups talked, and then we'll probably have them draft an MOU.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That'll
Yep.
go to the city
Yep.
and keep it in motion.
Yep,
It's a little frustrating because it was sort of like they didn't really go through the correct process, like initially, and now we were trying to like really put that in place and sort of advocate for them
to have some skin in the game, because they kept saying they got overlooked, but then now they're just continuing to do things without going through the proper channels.
Well, that's why,
I
I
don't
mean,
think-
this backdoor with Mike, because he's such a good guy at doing, oh, it's maintenance, or it's upgrades, or whatever, and then, so I'm like, trying to find out why there's this 3-foot deep hole in the side of the hill that 6-year-olds could fall in there and twist an ankle, and
Not just
Tom
6-year-olds,
gives me a long,
70-year-olds.
yeah, and Tom tells me, oh, I've been working with Mike Maples, and it's like, wait a minute,
Well,
what is that about?
yeah.
So my understanding from when they gave their presentation, was that they were going to replace all the baskets and all the tee boxes.
And then they talked about making it an 18.
Yeah, then that was future, but for now, they were basically just gonna, like Mike's saying, that was just gonna be considered an upgrade. Which, yeah, I think, it's like soccer mowing the lawn, et cetera, it's like their tee boxes were terrible, they were
Right.
stand everywhere, and they just
Right, they
replaced
have
those.
wood chips all on them now.
Yeah,
and
they're really
yeah.
nice, and as far as I can tell, they didn't, some of the baskets might have moved a little bit, but not much. And I don't see any new holes up there.
I think they moved 2 or 3 baskets.
Yeah, but I don't think it's crazy,
But
it's
like
in there.
just within their, like the
Yeah,
footprint of where
correct.
the basket.
Yeah,
It was on their current course.
This
Yeah.
hole that I'm talking about was, 35 feet away.
And where was it?
It
It's right
was,
on the slope of the
it was
hill.
moving south,
To the right or left as you're looking up the hill of the
to the right,
access road?
so kind of, you know where, can
Go
you,
back
you know where
there.
you can see where the well is for the soccer
Yeah.
field sprinkler? You
Yep.
can see the
To the
old,
south of there.
Uh-huh,
where the excavation line goes
Yeah.
up the hill, it was near there.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible it's not related to disc golf? I don't know who else
No.
it would be.
No, no,
Okay.
I reached out to him and
Oh,
I'm like,
he said,
that
okay.
hole, is that yours? Because it needs to be filled.
I think they planted a basket there.
Mm-mm.
Go by and check. I'll bet you a cup of
Well,
coffee.
that's not, that's not where the old location was.
So we're talking up by the soccer field
Yeah.
area?
It's on the hillside going up.
Okay,
The
I'm
slope.
curious, out in the valley, go look at it.
Well, Beth, if you give me the contact details for Tom, in fact, I probably already have it, 'cause he used to be on the PTA also. But I think one of the things I'm gonna ask of him is, they need to come talk to us. I wanna hear from them. This conversation, I feel like, should be them telling us what is going on.
All the
and
more
what they're doing.
reason to invite groups
Yeah,
in.
exactly. I love that the tennis folks are here all the time. It's like, I have no questions.
So
What's going
can
on?
we just
We
ask,
know.
can we put a quick update from disc golf
Of
on the
course,
agenda?
that
I
would
mean,
be-
why not
of
have
course-
them here when tennis is
Of course.
here?
Yeah.
Right.
Assuming they're available, but.
I'm gonna send, are you writing these down?
Yep.
Okay.
I imagine
I
that
think
once
for-
winter
Fine.
sets in and it's not, like disc golf is kind of over, they'll
Thanks for
probably have
coming.
more time to come in and,
Thank
thank
you.
you. You know what I mean? Like, they're out playing golf. I see Tom there, this is his time, played right before sunset every night.
Yeah, I think, it's a good time to get soccer and baseball in here too. They're not doing anything. It's great. Great time.
All right, any other future agenda items?
No.
Okay.
Well, so the bylaws need to be added
Bylaws,
again?
yeah, we tabled the bylaws because we have a confusion of what is the latest.
Yeah, what I told you should have been sent.
Yeah.
The one that you sent is an old version.
Yeah, that's what I got from Danae.
Right, but we've made changes
Yeah.
since Danae's here with us.
Evidently, she didn't have that changed.
No, the mayor asked that we not ask
Her to do it.
that.
Oh, that's
so-
right.
So
you
we've
did,
been
didn't you?
owning it.
So-
So I have the
Sarah has
latest
that.
copy, which was shared 2 meetings ago. The one caveat to that version is that somehow it's a document issue. I cannot get it to go away. There's the public hearing,
Yeah.
A through F is just on the bottom of every single page.
section.
So we just need to overlook that, we can look at all the other changes, just know that that will be removed from the final version so that we can get it
Do you
approved.
use a Mac?
Yeah, and I've done it on Word and Google,
Can we talk
documents.
about this outside of?
So maybe you, yeah,
You gotta go.
move to
Yeah.
adjourn.
You gotta
Oh,
go.
move to adjourn?
Yeah.
I move.
We're adjourned.
Bye.
So Sarah, you get my message, okay?
Yeah,
Thank
Tom.
you.
See you later.
Maybe send it to me and if I can't,
like this.
And then I also redid it with no edits, obviously I know we wanna see the edits, but I hard copy and printed those
And
and
then
gave
there
them to
were a
Roger
couple
for
of
the last meeting that I couldn't be at,
Like, they were
so I'm
gonna
sorry
come
that
over to those new power lines
it's being
and lay
held
a
up.
line or
I
something, but
think
then
what you're
nothing
saying,
seemed
I think we
to
can all,
undisturbed.
I know, I went up there.
yeah, well, I think you're right, so can we know that that should, yeah, I don't,
It's like the
I
master
can't
template
highlight
that's
it, I
on there.
can't read it, I can't.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
they were
pretty good,
doing, it
yeah.
was odd.
Yeah,
Have you looked at the master template?
yeah,
I don't think it was
about
them.
that.
I know, right?
like a cable company.
Yeah, it was
So
some
this
kind
is
of,
the one I think,
it was a big truck,
were
you
you,
know, it
Yeah.
was like,
What is
whoa,
your
what are
name?
you doing
Yeah.
here, you know,
okay,
and
so
then,
when he
and I
put
thought,
out
well, fine, they're not in
Yeah,
my
these
town,
are
they have
really
these
old
two
ones.
cones, like,
So,
you know, leading over
this
to
what it
the
looks
poles, and I thought,
This
well,
is
they're
the
gonna
best,
try to tap
thing to
into
look
that pole
for
or
is
something.
If it still has park board and recreation, no, so this is the most
Oh, I
updated
didn't
one.
know it hit
The most updated one just is